Despite being a sequel to a 13-year-old cult classic, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 so far seems to be an exceptional continuation that takes true advantage of modern hardware. There were multiple times while playing my preview build of Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 where the gory sights I was playing witness to and causing left my jaw dropped, mainly because this is a sequel to a decade-old cult classic that I never thought would exist, let alone one executed in such a sharp, skilled manner. The folks at developer Saber Interactive have well and truly understood the assignment, crafting the kind of third-person shooter that both respects its source material and also the original game's rough and tough origins as a scrappy killfest. The mission I was launched straight into was called Void Song, taking place about halfway through the main campaign at a point where Captain Titus and companions Cheiron and Gadriel are, to absolutely nobody's surprise, fighting against insurmountable odds. The number of Tyranid enemies able to be portrayed on screen simultaneously is something that impressed me during my initial hands-on preview last year at Gamescom. However, Void Song was a chance to see this action play out in much wider open spaces, where I was delighted to see this attention to detail successfully built upon. Swarms of Tyranids absolutely fill the screen during almost every interaction with them, outright selling me on the sheer scale of the Warhammer 40k universe in a way the original 2011 game never could. Beginning in the wake of what looked like another devastating battle within a ruined church, it wasn't long until I, as Titus, was forced to hold off even more of the alien threat after a series of airborne spores launched and planted into the ground. What followed was a jamboree of gruesome kill animations activated after dealing enough damage, along with hundreds of satisfying sword swipes of my trusty standard issue chainsword. Slaughtering enemies always had an incredibly satisfying tactile feel to it, regardless of the weapon I chose to do it with, be it sniping floating foes from afar or slicing down an enemy's midsection with the combat knife to see its guts fall out. Pulling off these actions also looks great, not least due to the impressive lighting, the level of detail found in the locations, and the nature of any blood to linger around on the armour of the Core 3 Space Marine troops, as well as the surrounding environment long after the fact. If you thought there wasn't a place in 2024 for a Gears of War style shooter, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 staunchly proves otherwise. There's even a basic level of strategy to the moment-to-moment combat too, evidenced by your ability to parry certain leaping telegraphed attacks, though I'd be the first to admit doing so is rarely challenging. Here again, it was the animation that did a lot of the heavy lifting. The Void Song mission culminated in a relatively tough end boss fight which, without spoiling too much, pitted me against enemies other than the Tyranids in a refreshing change of pace. While the bugs are great by way of an overwhelming force, facing off against fellow armor-plated foes forced me into a different approach, especially in a sequence where the boss is flying around consistently above my character's head. This, combined with health, ammo, and grenades being relatively scarce in the world, severely changes the pace of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 and hit home the fact that Titus and his squad are in no way unkillable. In fact, I died a couple times during the mission. Equally as promising in this preview build were the two cooperative PvE missions I got to try, Inferno and Decapitation, that strongly indicate towards Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2's future nature as a well-rounded package. Both missions were part of a mode called Operations, not present in the first game, providing up to 3 players with the ability to upgrade and spec out their own specific Space Marine. The missions themselves play out concurrently alongside the events found in the main campaign, further building out the universe and giving Saber Interactive multiple opportunities to present familiar battles from 2 different unique perspectives. Classes available to try as part of Operations include Tactical, Assault, Sniper, Heavy, and more, all of which can be supplied with a distinct loadout that plays core to their strengths, as well as a unique super move that replaces Titus's Righteous Fury buff from the main story. My favourite Space Marine class to play as was easily the Vanguard, not least because it comes equipped with a grapnel launcher that allowed me to lash onto enemies from a great distance and pummel them with a gravity-defying dropkick. Interestingly, you can't have more than one of each class present in an Operations mission at the same time, but still, I can already see how this will be a great way to encourage creative play while working alongside each other in a variety of more bite-sized story missions. In a year where Helldivers 2 has proven that there's much fun to be had with PvE within a sci-fi shooter aesthetic, I'm hopeful that Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 can gain a similar buzz through Operations. And though it's true that I did notice a slight graphical downgrade in these 2 missions compared to the one reserved for the main campaign, holding off reams of Tyranid enemies still felt fraught and frenzied in a good way. The inclusion of multiple difficulties also indicate plenty of reasons to get stuck back in them again and again to earn more rewards too, although none appear to be aesthetic or class customization related, at least from what I saw in this preview build. Whether you're an existing fan of Relic Entertainment's original game or not, there's still plenty of reasons to be excited for this sequel when it releases on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC on September 9th, 2024. It's a raucous and crunchy third-person shooter that maintains the spirit of the Xbox 360 and PS3 era in a good way, with a new, stellar-looking coat of paint that should see it look and play brilliantly on modern systems. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to leave it a like and consider subscribing to the Mirror Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.